All right, so lately I've been spending a lot of time thinking about our despiritualized, sick, pathetic culture, and it's shoved in my face. I mean, even if I try to avoid it, it's pretty hard. For example, I was checking my Yahoo Mail account today, and it automatically brings up the news headlines, and it brought up one about Lady Gaga, who is a total Illuminati whore, as you will soon see. Well, I should say she's a whore for the Illuminati. I'm sure she has no idea what she's doing, or maybe she does, but regardless, she's just a puppet of the Illuminati. And so I decided to see, because it said something about her surpassing, or being like the number one person that people follow on Twitter, alright? Um, so she surpasses people like the president. And obviously, I'm no fan of Barack Obama. He's just another puppet. But you'd think people would be more interested in what the leader of your country had to say versus what some dumb, brain dead pop star had to say. But that's our culture. We're a bunch of over entertained, despiritualized zombies. Um, a long time ago, someone had me watch a video called Alejandro by Lady Gaga. All right, and this video is so chock full of Illuminati imagery. It is stunning. I mean, some of it is just undeniable. And to those people, whenever you analyze something in pop culture, they say it's a distraction. And actually, I totally disagree because this is what most Americans spend their time thinking about. In that article, it also talked about how Lady Gaga has the number one most viewed video on YouTube. It's nothing. It's not an interesting documentary or something educational or something inspiring. It's Lady Gaga's stupid music video is what the majority of people care about. So all throughout the video, there's a really strong focus on just one eye. Like the Illuminati all-seeing eye. And actually, I've seen this in other mainstream pop horror music videos. Like I think Christina Aguilera does that too, but Lady Gaga actually does it in several videos. But here's one clip. It's all throughout the video, but I'm just gonna show this one and maybe one more. All right, so that's a clip of the emphasis on the one eye. Um, just some notes about the overall video. I turned the sound off because I didn't want to punish you guys by hearing this crap. But I mean, it's hard enough that you're actually watching this. But I think I'll make some pretty good points, so just stick with me. But the song is extremely repetitive. Just over and over. She says Alejandro, Alejandro. It's a long video. I think it's like 7 minutes long, and it's really there's not that much variety. And then it has this kind of dream feel to it that uses weird colors, lots of black and white, and lots of lights flashing, and it reminds me of that scene in Clockwork Orange where they're brainwashing the main character to be non-violent. They have his eyes peeled open, and they're playing Beethoven. It's kind of like that, just total brainwashing and just turning us even into bigger materialistic zombies than we all already are. All right, the next clip I'm going to show. There's a lot of kind of S&M, bondage, sexuality in this, and here's just a short clip of some of that. So the guy dancers they have all look the same. They have this like weird bowl haircut, and I think you could kind of connect that to the fact they're trying to stomp out any sort of individualism in the New World Order, and everyone kind of looks and acts and thinks the same, and you know whether that's intentional or not, it's still a good point to bring up. The next clip I'd say is probably the most powerful. So once again, you've got lots of emphasis on the all-seeing eye. You know, she puts her hand up to her eye and removes it. Um, I mean, obviously she looks like like some sort of satanic nun. I mean, it looks like an upside-down cross. Pretty sure it is. You can't really get a good look at it. And then she does that weird, bizarre swallowing the cross. And I think I've heard people say this music video is representing the church's oppression of homosexuals, because I mean, there is a lot of scenes where the guys are clearly acting like homosexuals, but I mean, I think it goes a lot deeper than that. I mean, as I'll get into in a little bit. But yeah, there's that clip. Actually, yeah, I have a few more from this video that you'll see are pretty strange. Oh, and another thing I need to mention is a lot of the characters have this weird kind of Nazi/Soviet fascist uniform on. The next clip shows some kind of chaos in the streets, rioting. I mean, yeah, this is weird. This part could actually just be straight up conditioning for what's to come, perhaps. Or I mean, or it could just be all part of the sadistic, satanic, dark, ecstatic ritual of the whole video. But yeah, here's this clip. Just kind of comes out of nowhere. All right, and then here's just another clip of her in her S&M type weird orgy in her mockery of like a sort of Catholic, you know, uniform. And then actually the very end I actually kind of like, because it kind of shows her for what she is. It has her connected to a bunch of puppet strings. And yeah, you'll see the ending. It's totally exactly what she is. So it was hard, but I watched a couple more of her crappy videos, and I didn't find a whole lot of blatant Illuminati occult symbolism in them, except a few. Most of them were just really shallow, the typical, you know, materialistic, surrounded by money and sex, and at some, you know, fancy like mansion having a party type, the typical mainstream music video. But I did find a few interesting things. I found another clip with the emphasis on the one eye. And then something even more interesting, though, I found was she uses some goat's head imagery in two separate videos, actually. And the goat's head, I mean, obviously there's that famous painting of Baphomet that I have up right now, actually, that you're looking at. But then obviously, I mean, Satan, the horned god, which is a term Jeffrey Grupp uses because he believes Satan has too many preconceived notions with it, so he thinks a more accurate term is just simply the horned god, and I actually agree with him. So she uses imagery of the horned god in some of her videos, as I will show you. First, I will show you the eye clip, and then some horned god imagery. Oh, and the horned god imagery is for the first two clips is kind of quick. It's just right above her bed, so just like right above the bed, and you can't miss it. And as if all that wasn't enough for you, just look at this little doozy of an article I found. I simply searched Lady Gaga Illuminati just to see what showed up, and I could not believe I found this. The headline is Lady Gaga confesses to having Illuminati dreams. The devil tells me if you want your family to be okay, then you will cut your wrist. This is insane. I can't believe I found this. Some of you may be familiar with this. I'm not sure how popular this is. Yeah, she apparently has a reoccurring Illuminati dream, she calls it. She says, I have this reoccurring dream sometimes where there's a phantom in my home. and he takes me into a room, and there's a blonde girl with ropes tied to all 4 of her limbs, and she's got my shoes on from the Grammys. Go figure, psycho. And the ropes are pulling her apart. But it gets even stranger. I never see her get pulled apart, but I just watch her whimper. And then the phantom says to me, if you want me to stop hurting her, and if you want your family to be okay, you will cut your wrist. And I think that he has his own, like, crazy wrist cutting device. And he was this honey in, like, Tupperware. And it looks like sweet and sour sauce with a lot of MSG from New York. Just bizarre. And he wants me to pour the honey into the wound and then put cream over it and a gauze. And then it continues, Gaga was confused by her dream and turned to other sources to find out its meaning. So I looked up the dream, she said, and I couldn't find anything about it anywhere. And my mother goes, isn't that an Illuminati ritual? And I was like, oh my god. Yeah, that's pretty impressive right there. It kind of makes it seem like she's almost like a slave to the Illuminati. Like she doesn't really willingly take part in it, but I guess that's what happens when you sell your soul to the mainstream culture, which is basically the equivalent of selling your soul to the devil. So yeah, I mean, and the reason I'm focusing on Lady Gaga is not so much just to bash her. I mean, I was being pretty harsh on her. But it's just more what she represents. I mean, she's the number one video. She has the number one video on YouTube. I believe it's like 250 million views or something ridiculous like that. I mean, how many people are in the U.S.? Like what, 300 million? I mean, she has almost as many views on her video as there are people in the United States. That's how huge of an icon she is. And just all the things she represents, it disgusts me. And it says a lot about just the popular culture in general. And popular culture, and more specifically popular music, I believe is actually a weapon targeting your soul. They want to make sure you stay ignorant, despiritualized, nihilistic, and over-entertained. I mean, just look at the videos, look at the overall message that they're trying to put onto you. But as long as they can keep humanity obsessed, with money and sex, and make sure they stay materialistic buffoons, there's no way that the Illuminati could ever lose. Because a spiritually enlightened person cannot enjoy crap like this. I mean, I wrote an article kind of making this point. Actually, it's a video on here too. It's the battle against the Illuminati begins with yourself. If people were to change at their very core, I mean, there's no way stuff like this would be popular. It'd just be amazing. I can't even describe like the potential. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying it'd be some magical utopia, but it'd be a lot better than what we got now. So yeah, that's basically just my point for now. Leave any comments or any information you have regarding any of this. Thanks. That's our culture. We're a bunch of over entertained, despiritualized zombies. A long time ago, someone had me watch a video called Alejandro by Lady Gaga. All right, and this video is so like the president, and obviously I'm no fan of Barack Obama. He's just another puppet. But you'd think people would be more interested in what the leader of your country had to say versus what some dumb brain dead pop star had to say. But Alright, so lately I've been spending a lot of time thinking about our despiritualized, sick, pathetic culture, and it's shoved in my face. I mean, even if I try to avoid it, it's pretty hard. For example, I was checking my Yahoo Mail account today, and it automatically brings up the news headlines, and it brought up one about Lady Gaga, who is a total Illuminati whore, as you will soon see. Well, I should say she's a whore for the Illuminati. I'm sure she has no idea what she's doing, or maybe she does, but regardless, she's just a puppet of the Illuminati. And so I decided to see, because it said something about her surpassing or being like the number one person that people follow on Twitter. All right, so she surpasses people